Here we are, episode 3 of Rickman Weep. Welcome back, everyone. I am super thrilled to have you tune in. So here we go. Let's get the show started. I just want to say I ate so much Wingstop right now. I felt like a sloth and I felt really lethargic, but as soon as the camera started rolling, guess what, baby? It's game on. Here we go. I'm not going to stop, and you can't stop me. So, I just got to admit, I have a really weak-ass, bitch-ass stomach when it comes to eating a lot of food, but I'm okay. I didn't eat that much, but I ate enough to feel lazy. But I feel energized right now. I feel energized because, guess what? You're watching. And here we go. I actually have a really weak-ass stomach, man. And I recall this one time that I was at a buddy's house and he made some really, really sweet Kool-Aid. He put like a pound of sugar in this Kool-Aid and he thought it was funny. He was like, ha 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 ha, here, drink this Kool-Aid. It's really sweet. Dude, little did I know, moments later, I threw up. But I didn't throw up just because of the Kool-Aid. Because prior to consuming that Kool-Aid, I ate wings that were really hot. I mean, I like my wings really hot, but I ate some wings that were literally like a dragon's fucking breath. Dragon's fire, dude. I don't know, but they were really hot. And then I drank some really sweet-ass Kool-Aid, which I want to say was pineapple flavored. One thing, I just want to get out the way, dude. Fuck pineapples. If you put pizza on your pineapples, guess what? I don't think we're friends. If you put pineapple on your pizza, dude, just do me a favor and unfriend me and unfollow me because guess what? I don't roll that way. I'm the anti-pineapple on pizza gang, all right? Anti-pineapple on pizza gang, and I don't want anything to do with you. Hey, we're not friends. The only exception to eating pineapple on pizza is if you put some jalapenos on there and get that shit extra well done. That is the only way I'll eat it because pineapple on pizza is literally a sin against humanity. That is not me, and that will never be me. So, there you go. I just said it. Anyway, I drank the sweet-ass Kool-Aid with the pound of sugar in it that tasted like shit, and moments later, I was in the car. My girlfriend at the time was driving, and I was like, hey, you need to stop the car right now. Right now, stop the car. She stopped the car, and I flew out of the car, and on the side of the road, guess what? Boom, I hurled my guts out. I hurled my brains out, man. So this goes back to me having a weak-ass, bitch-ass stomach, because I'll admit it, I do. I could go on and on and on about the times I've thrown up. I think the worst time I actually threw up was when I was at a cafe, and I ate 3 giant breakfast burritos. And it's my fault because I always told them, yeah, put basically everything on them. And they did. And then right after I ate those tacos, guess what? I drank 2 or 3 giant glasses of water with lemon because I'm a classy boy. I always drink water with lemon. And then I drove home. I lived at an apartment complex like 2 minutes away. And as soon as that gate opened to go into the complex, dude, I was in a minivan and I hauled ass. I hauled ass because my brain and my stomach make that connection. And that connection is, hey, Rick, you should probably go throw up. And I'm like, ooh, I probably should go throw up. So I was zipping around the corner and I came to a dead halt because I just did because I couldn't hold it anymore. And as soon as I got out of the van, dude, this lady was actually crossing the street to go to the laundromat. And she was going to the laundromat and she freaked out because I was driving really fast and I hopped out. And I don't know if she thought I was going to like do something to her. Little did she know that I wasn't feeling it. And I hurled my guts out again. I hurled my brains out right at her feet. And this poor lady was traumatized. She looked like she'd seen the devil. She looked like she'd seen her dead grandmother come back from the grave. And I was at her feet, dude. I was at her feet hurling my guts out. Yeah. Poor lady, man. I probably scarred her for life. But, yeah. That's just me throwing up. I've thrown up countless numbers of times. I can't even tell you how many times I've thrown up within the past, like, 3 or 4 years, dude. It's a lot. It's a lot to throw up, and I'm sorry. I just know when I need to throw up. I'm not one of those guys that just spontaneously throws up. I just know. Like I said, my stomach and my brain make that connection, and they knock on the door, and they're like, yo, dude, you have, like, half past the freckle to go throw up, and you should probably go throw up. And I do go throw up, and that's where we go. We go throw up, and we throw up all day, every day. Just kidding, I don't throw up all day, every day. I try and hold it in, man. Anyway, this whole quarantine has got me all sorts of fucked up, has my sleep schedule all sorts of ruined. I really don't go to sleep until like 3 or 4 in the morning. I take stupid naps, and naps will be the death of you, dude. Naps will legitimately be the death of you if you don't watch what you're doing. If you don't watch what you're doing and just take a 20-minute nap, guess what? You're going to be up for a really long time at night, and you're going to hate your life like me. This staying up late actually falls hand in hand with going in giant, for like big periods of time, into stupid Facebook and Instagram like video rabbit holes, dude. I will scroll, I kid you not, for hours on Facebook and Instagram. And it sucks because these videos, sometimes they just auto scroll and auto play, and you have no choice. You're just like, oh, this video seems interesting, I guess I'll watch it next. And you just keep going and going and going, and here you go. It's like 3:30 in the morning, and you're like, what have I done? What have I done with my life? I can't even sleep. And here I am watching stupid videos that don't make any sense. Will they do anything for me? Probably not. But are they interesting? Yeah. Do I want to learn how to bake this pie at 3:30 in the morning? I guess so. It looks good. Am I hungry? Maybe. But that's okay. It's how it goes, man. I don't know what you guys have been binging or watching recently. We're about to get a little dark here. Recently, I watched The Dark Side of Wrestling on Vice. It has been advertised a lot, and the specific episode I watched really hit home. I don't know if you guys have heard of Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit was a professional wrestler who is considered one of the greatest of all time in-ring performers. And a lot of people don't really understand pro wrestling. A lot of people say that it is fake. And I'll admit it's theatrics and it is fake. But guess what? These guys are athletes, man. These guys, they take real chair shots. They do fall from ladders, and they do literally break their bodies. The statistics for wrestlers dying at a young age, dying before 40 years old, is really high. It's something not to be taken lightly, because these guys literally break their bodies for the purpose of entertaining. And you know what? It's their life choice, and they decide to do it, and they love it. It's the thing they do. Anyway, going back to Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit was, like I said, arguably one of the greatest of all time in-ring performers. But his accolades in the ring are diminished. They are non-existent in the world of professional wrestling because of what Chris Benoit did outside the ring. And it's really sad, and it almost makes me bring like a tear to my eye talking about it, because this guy was, I don't know, he was legitimately one of the greats, but he murdered his family, his whole family. He strangled his wife and his son, and then killed himself in his basement at his gym. And it's nuts, because I remember when all of this went down, man. It's 2007. I'm 12 years old. And at the time, the WWE had brought back ECW, which was like a branch of pro wrestling. ECW stands for Extreme Championship Wrestling. So Chris Benoit was supposed to wrestle for the title. And I think their pay-per-views were on Saturday night. It's weird because I remember tuning in, and Chris Benoit never showed. He never showed up to the pay-per-view, and I thought it was weird. I'm sure everyone, that's involved in that sort of thing thought it was weird. But what's even weirder is nobody knew what was going on until... So the pay-per-view was Saturday, Sunday, then Monday Night Raw. Raw is like one of the wrestling shows the WWE owns, right? They found out that Chris had died Sunday, and Vince McMahon basically shut down the show and had a tribute show showing all of his greatest matches, right? Tuesday, the following day, all right, it comes to light that Chris had actually, like I said, murdered his family. He, again, strangled his wife and his son. He drugged his son with Xanax and strangled him. And apparently he had done this, I believe, Friday or Saturday. And I was watching The Dark Side of Wrestling, and it goes into a lot of details about how basically Chris was handling it. He had a mental breakdown, I think, or it had been brewing. Another big name in this story is Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero was Chris Benoit's best friend. So Chris killed himself in 2007. Eddie had died in 2005. Eddie and Chris were best friends. And when Eddie died, he died of heart failure or heart attack. He was with Chris. Chris was apparently downstairs at a hotel, and Eddie was in his room upstairs, and he was with somebody else. And that guy, I forget his name, called Chris, and he told him that Eddie had died. And I think at that point, something happened in Chris's brain. Something snapped. So Chris had a really hard time dealing with Eddie's death, and he got really depressed about it. These guys had been wrestling together for years and years and years. So when Eddie died, Chris never recovered from that. I just want to say a quick thing about Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero is also legendary in the ring. He is a WWE Hall of Famer. You mention Eddie Guerrero to any big WWE fan, and they will always be like, dude, that guy was the guy. Chris Benoit was the guy at the time. When he missed that pay-per-view, he was going to fight for or wrestle for the title at ECW, get the ECW championship. And John Morrison, who's actually a knockoff of Jim Morrison, hilarious, had ended up stepping in and winning that title. But the point is it really resonated watching that, because I remember being a kid and taking it all in. What's really upsetting is that whenever Chris Benoit had died, Vince McMahon had to step in after the tribute show and basically erase Chris Benoit's legacy from the WWE, which I think is the right move. Chris Benoit cannot be defended in any sort of which way for his actions outside the ring. His actions outside the ring legitimately destroyed anything he had ever accomplished in the world of professional wrestling. And then it came out that Chris Benoit's brain, because of so many concussions and injuries and CTE, that guy had a brain of a 60 or 70-year-old. And it's very common in pro wrestling to get concussions. Same thing with football. Same thing with any high impact contact sport. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt, and if you don't take care of yourself, dude, there are major repercussions to that. Your brain will diminish, and I think it's only if you have that specific gene for CTE that your brain will basically rot. Unfortunately, Chris had that gene, I think. And there's a lot of factors that contribute to what happened. What happened to Chris Benoit and the state of mind he was in. I don't know if you know. You probably don't know. But just talking about it really freaks me out. He had this, his finishing move, Chris Benoit's finishing move was a flying headbutt. He'd literally jump off the top rope, like soar like an eagle across the ring and headbutt you while you were flat on your back. Citing The Dark Side of Wrestling, that move had been used by two other wrestlers in the past that Chris Benoit had really admired. And one of them ended up in a wheelchair, and the other ended up, I don't know what, I think also having tremendous health issues. Vince McMahon, like I said, erased Chris Benoit from the WWE after that. And it sucks. But you know what? Like I said, that guy can't be defended for his actions outside the ring. It's really sad. I remember actually having a Chris Benoit deluxe action figure when I was like 12. And I guess you could say I was a little too old for action figures, but guess what, dude? I still have them, and they're in a box tucked away somewhere. Maybe someday they'll be worth a lot of money. I highly doubt that, but I had a deluxe Chris Benoit action figure, and it had his signature yellow like tights. I think they said Rabid Wolverine on them. Listen, man, the deluxe action figures, I think Jakks Pacific made them. They were way better than the regular action figures, because their whole body can move, like you could really move their whole. When I say that, I mean like you had full movement of legs and torso and arms and things like that compared to a regular action figure. You would notice a difference if you saw one. But the point is that I remember having that action figure, and I did something. I put it like somewhere in the garage, and I think I accidentally sold it in a garage sale, and I hate myself for it because I've looked up that action figure, man, and that action figure sold. It's like if it was in the box, easily, I kid you not, like $150, like no sweat. What makes it even crazier is that Chris Benoit is now, he's dead. So I'm not trying to worship the guy, but it's just interesting to have a piece of legitimate wrestling history in that nature. Anyway, I don't want to depress y'all any more than I'm already depressed. My mood really shifted. Moving on. I've been watching this show my friend turned me on to called 90 Day Fiancé. I'm on season 1, and it's cool. I dig it. The thing is, though, is that thing is so freaking cringeworthy, dude. It's so cringeworthy that I sit there and I'm like, I can't watch. And it's so cringe, man. It's so cringe. To think that listen, they have to make a show out of it, all right? It's an interesting topic. I don't blame them. Fine. Go for it. Do what you like. It's just, man, to think these guys go to a country and then fall in love with the chick and then try and bring her back. And then the family's like, we really didn't want this to happen, but I guess it's all right. It's okay. So I've been watching 90 Day Fiancé, and then I find out about this guy named Ed. This guy named Ed. I don't know where to begin. This guy has no neck. This guy has no neck, and I hate to say this, dude. I call him Ed the Eggman. Ed the Eggman has no neck. He has no neck, dude, and he kind of looks like Humpty Dumpty. But you know what? If that guy was a comedian or something, if that guy had a spark of talent and wasn't so, like, in his heart about finding love, dude, that guy could be a star, even without a neck. Congratulations, dude. I would be your number one fan. Legitimately, bro. If you did something and just weren't so, I don't know, fucking lovesick, like, dude, I'd be all about it. But guess what? You're lovesick, dude. You're so lovesick. You kind of look like the Penguin. Like the Penguin from Batman. From the early 90s Batman with Catwoman. That's what you look like, man. But what can I say? I can't really say much. I'm just obsessed with you, dude. I'm obsessed with you, and I want you to do well, and I want you to find love. But guess what? We're in quarantine. We're in quarantine now. I don't know if you could find love in quarantine, dude. I'm not even keeping up with that season. I just know about Ed because I'm watching that show, and I've seen that guy's face all over the internet, and I cannot get enough of him. Dude, if you're out there and you're listening, which I highly doubt you'll ever listen to this, hey, try your hand at stand-up comedy, dude. I don't know. Work on some material, bro. Work on some material with no neck, because you look like Humpty Dumpty. You look like Ed. Okay, your name is Ed the Eggman, and I really like you, dude. So I hope everything's going well for you. You know, I hope love works out, and I hope you have your heart fulfilled, and I hope that fiance that you went to get makes you happy. But listen, I don't know shit about that season. I just know that this guy's on it, and I'm potentially his number one fan. Another thing I've watched, dude, I'm just talking about shit I've watched because literally, like, I've done just work and watch shit on TV. I'm just picking out the best shit I've watched because I don't know what else to talk about. We can talk about me throwing up some more, but I don't think you want to hear that. I don't think anyone wants to hear that. The point is, is that I've watched a lot of cool shit. Another cool thing I've watched is the classic, I think, 2005 movie, The Lords of Dogtown. The Lords of Dogtown, the guys that basically started, I guess, like street skating or skating. They basically put skating on the map, and I'm very much, listen, I admire a lot of skaters. I admire so many people that could do a lot of cool tricks and shit. And listen, I can't skate worth shit. I can't skate to save my life. I mean, okay, stop. Let me reiterate. I can skate really well. You put me on a board, I know my way around a board. I just don't know tricks. I am a huge fan of longboarding, and I kid you not, dude, I will rip so hard on a penny board, man. I am a specialist on a penny board, and I've dedicated so much time and so much hours to becoming really good on a penny board, solely because I'm a purist that way. And when I say I'm a purist, I sound like a dickhead. I'm a purist in the way that the guys in Dogtown were purists. They only skated on little boards. These boards were like what? Like maybe this big? Dude, I'm about that. I'm about skating on little boards. Not only that, I'm like Twinkle Toes, dude. I'm like Twinkle Toes, and I can skate really well. I'm like a fairy on that board. You can't even touch me. A lot of like, I guess, I wouldn't say a lot. I know a few people that are kind of scared to hop on one of those boards because they're used to skating on regular, like, popsicle stick skateboards, and they just don't know their way around that board. And on top of that, maybe they just got big-ass feet. Listen, I have normal-sized, average-sized feet for my height, but, dude, I'll fly on that thing. I'm like a butterfly. I am swift like a fucking butterfly, dude. I love skating on a penny board. Anyway, I watched The Lords of Dogtown. I love that shit. Heath Ledger's in it. Love Heath Ledger. Tony Hawk's in it for a split second. Tony Hawk's cool. Obviously a skating legend. Good flick if you're into that kind of thing. If you're into skateboarding, I highly recommend you check it out. It takes place in the 70s. Dude, I don't know why I keep getting sucked into the 70s, man. Like, and most things I've watched, I'm just like, oh, they're in 1977, 76, 75. My stupid moped is from 1977, I think. Like, the 70s were just cool. If I could live in the 70s, I would. I would probably have to be born in, like, what? Like, the early 50s to really enjoy it? Yeah. I really dig the 70s. So, The Lords of Dogtown obviously takes place in the 70s, and these guys were skating in pools because there was a big drought in California, and they had the drain pool, so they're basically the ones that started skating in bowls, and that's what started it all. That's what kicked it off. So skating became a real big thing then, which is cool. I dig it. Let's see. So I don't know if you've noticed, I've tried to really clear up my speech and not say I know I've touched on it in the previous episodes, but dude, it has been, I'm like that guy that looks like all his veins are about to pop out. I actually met him. He lives here in Denton. There's like that meme of that kid that looks really red and his veins are like, he's like, he's just like about to explode. I met that guy, and he lives in Denton, and I have a picture to prove it. The thing is, though, is that's how I feel about saying Anytime I pause, I'm trying my hardest not to say because, like I said, I don't want to you to death. If I you, your ears are gonna bleed, and I don't want your ears to bleed. So let's just not go there. So I'm taking longer pauses. I'm being a little bit more professional, and I'm taking it slow. I'm taking it real slow. And I'm trying not to say all right? So bear with me here. Whew. Dude, okay. I've been thinking a lot about friendship and loyalty, and I've realized, unless things are jaded between, let's say, like between you and I, for instance, jaded in a way that, that in a romantically like affiliated way, I don't, friendship will always be there, undoubtedly, but I will always I will always be metaphorically socially distant. I'm not about that. The thing is, though, is I've realized that loyalty and friendship, they go hand in hand. And I have a very small circle of friends that I hold very near and dear to my heart. I could count, really close friends, maybe like less than 10 people that I can put my trust in and put my word in, and I'm hoping that they have my back as much as I have their back. Legitimately, it's such an important thing in my life that I keep those people near and dear to my heart. And I'm not saying I don't have any more room for friends, because friends come and go, man. A lot of doors open and a lot of doors close, and I'm all about that. I'm all about pushing forward and moving on with life, because you can't really sit back and drown yourself in memories or feelings that you once had. People will always remember the way you made them feel. People will always remember the way you made them feel, and the way you expressed yourself to them, and the way they expressed themselves to you. So I just want to say that my loyalty goes a really long way for my friends, and I don't want that to ever be forgotten. Especially if we've been through some shit, man. Legitimately, I really mean that from like the bottom of my heart. It's like I want you as my friend to be there for me as much as I'd be there for you. And I'm one of those guys that I'm ride or die with you. So if you're close to me and you're a buddy or a girlfriend of mine, hey baby, I'm with you. And don't forget that. I know things are really weird right now, and I can't see any of my friends, because nobody can see any of their friends because of this quarantine. But just know that I'm out there, or I'm here, and I care about you a lot. Care about you, and I do think about y'all. And even if we haven't spoken in a bit, guess what? I do care about you. Something that I do want to bring up, though, is that, going back to being weird and jaded and stuff, just avoid people that have bad influences, man. Just avoid people that don't have good intentions or good influences, and they don't have family values. If straight up, dude, and I will look into the camera and tell you, if you don't have family values, and if you don't have any sense of loyalty, legitimately, fuck off, dude. If you have no family values, please go fuck off, and don't be in my life. Don't be in anybody's life, actually, because nobody wants to hang around someone that doesn't care, that doesn't appreciate loyalty and trust and all those good things that come with friendship. And conveniently, my cat's deciding to take a shit right now. Thanks, cat, for taking a shit while I'm recording. You're the best. You're the best. Thank you. You're the best. Fuck. I did it. I fucking said it. The point is if you're my friend, man, you got my number and I'm with you. You got my number and I'm with you. Even if you leave me on red, dude, I won't take it personal. Maybe I will eventually, because you're just being a dick, but it's cool. No big deal. I'm still there, and I care about you. Just know that, man. Just know that you got a friend in me, baby, and I'm here. So I keep saying, dude, fuck. I'm going to have to go to speech therapy to knock that stupid shit out of me because I legitimately hate doing it. Pause. Think about what you're going to say, Rick. Don't say anyway. And there we go again, saying anyway too. My speech patterns are awful, and I'm so sorry that you are hearing me repeat myself so much. I'm trying really hard, guys. I swear to God I am. I don't know if you noticed the kind of the aura or the feel of this particular episode. I feel like the other two episodes I really just was very like sporadic and spastic and in your face, but I've realized I just gotta mellow it out a little bit and take my time and not be so like jumpy, because being jumpy is kind of a turnoff sometimes, you know? I mean, hey baby, don't get me wrong, I could be like this all the time and I could see how that can get really annoying. So I don't want to be like this, because if I'm like this, I'm an asshole. And I don't want to do that, man. I've really thought about this, and I've had this crazy itch, and I'm about to tell y'all. How I feel about it, because y'all need to hear it. I've really, really, really have been wanting to try stand-up comedy for some time, and I've told myself I've just been a bitch about it. I've just been a bitch about it because I've just been a bitch. Yeah, very, very, very bitch-like maneuvers in my part. And when I say that, I mean I've just bitched out on going to open mic nights, because, listen, there's a lot of things I'm not saying on this podcast solely because, first and foremost, whatever I say on here, listen, I don't really give a shit about what I say, but there are certain things I can't say about my life, but those things I would say on stage. And I think it's because I guess the things that I do have to say wouldn't go well in Texas, or like they wouldn't be good career moves. Not that like I'm looking out for my I am looking out for my career, but it's like, here I am dropping F-bombs left and right. So am I really? I guess. The thing is though, is I don't want to be tied down to kind of like a 9-to-5 job. And I don't want to be a corporate sack of shit that has to show up to, big corporate meetings with stupid briefcases and stupid suits. Don't get me wrong, I like looking sharp and I like a good suit, but the thing is though, is I don't want to live my life like that, man. I don't want to live my life like a slave. I'm not saying that those guys are slaves, but you're a slave to a system, and I don't want to be a slave to a system. And that's when the word entrepreneur comes in. I'm my own businessman, and I just want to stay my own business. And I'll admit, real estate is very fruitful. The real estate game is really big, but I don't know if I want to do real estate my whole life, man. What I do know is that I want to get on stage, and I want to say funny shit, and I want to make people laugh. I think it's something that I've been inspired to do. It's something that I've thought about a lot. The thing is, though, is now that I'm here pulling the trigger on this podcast, guess what, baby? COVID-19 hits and 2020 is basically ruined. And here we are in quarantine. So, yeah, I want to go to open mic nights and just humiliate myself in public, not just on the internet. Yes! That's what I want to do. So whenever this quarantine ends, brace yourself, dude, because I'm coming at you full force, dude. I'm coming at you full force, and not you, your mom or your grandma or your uncle or Tom with the beer gut is going to stop me. I'm just going to hop on stage, and I'm going to humiliate myself. Something I do want to bring up that I think is hilarious, dude. I think it's so funny. Is that there's so many fake ass people on Instagram and on social media. I mean, that's what it's for. I try and bring you the realest me all the time, because I'm not some fake bitch that kind of wants to live that life of glamour. I don't want to do that. I don't want I don't want to put a spotlight on my life and make it seem like it's a fairy tale. And people only put what they want you to believe on the internet. And it's something that's been said a lot. It's been repeated a lot, and I get that. I don't want to do that to you. I don't want to give you a fake, I don't know, impression of myself, because that isn't cool. I don't think it's cool, and I don't think it's honest. And listen, I think a lot of people drool on that fantasy of people's lives, but they put that out there, and they're human. They take shits like you and me, and they have diarrhea like you and me. And sometimes life is really shitty to them, and sometimes it isn't. And what I really can't stand is like I said, like the fakeness. Like I don't like that. I will legitimately always be super raw and real and in your face about shit. So yeah, I'm not a fake bitch, dude. And you shouldn't be a fake bitch either. You should legitimately fucking put your life on, I don't know, put your life in the face of the camera the way it is, not the way you want it to be, not the way you want people to see it. And I think people that live their lives like that are just shallow, and life needs to hit them in the face, dude. Life needs to slap them really freaking hard. Life needs to backhand them, just whack. Just backhand them, dude. Because social media really attributes to depression. I saved myself there. See that? Social media attributes to depression sometimes. People want to aspire to be what they see on the internet. And don't get me wrong, like, I could say that shit and look at me, here I am, ranting my shit away. But I'm being honest with you, man. I legitimately don't want to live my life like some fake bitch that's on Instagram or, doing whatever. It's just the way life is. And it's the way life will always be in this age of the internet. And you just can't get caught up in that. You can't get caught up in wanting to be like someone else or wanting to show off what you really don't have. We all have to be, I hate this fucking word, we have to be mindful of everything. Especially now that we're all quarantined. I've come to realize that you can't be in that sort of mindset about wanting to have something so badly that you fake it till you make it. And you know what? People fake it till they make it. And it's a hustle. And I'm not going to lie to you. Like, if you fake it and you make it, good on you, dude. But just be real, baby. Just be real. Because if you're real, I think people appreciate it more. A wise man once told me, and this has something to do with kind of like real estate. Don't be like every other real estate agent out there. Don't be like Bob and Tim and John, who all have the same slogan and all believe in customer service. They all think their customer service is great. They all do the same shit. They all, I don't know, wear blue ties and shitty suits. Just don't be like those guys, man. Don't be like every other agent out there. And I kind of put that, I apply that to my life. It's like, don't be like every other person out there. You kind of want to glimmer and shine in your own way. And that's the way you want to live your life. What I've also come to realize too is that rhythm, like there's a rhythm in laughing. There's a rhythm in making people laugh, and that's what I want to do. I want to laugh, man. I want to laugh really bad, and I want people to laugh with me or at me, even sometimes if it's at my expense. The thing is, though, is that it's mainly just jokes, dude. Just jokes, and people should freely just laugh. Laughing is great. A lot of people need to laugh. And if you don't like to laugh, are you even human? Are you a robot? Is there something you're not telling us? Dude, are you not laughing? What's wrong with you? You always want to laugh, man. Laughing is a good cure for, I don't know, depression. Put something on. Put something funny on. Even if it's the most stupid, common humor out there. It's like knee slapper kind of funny. If that makes you laugh, then do it. I'm a really big fan of knee slap comedy. I'm a big fan of the Three Stooges or Charlie Chaplin, that kind of thing. I think it's great. I think everybody should legitimately, laugh. Laugh every once in a while, man. We're all so depressed and cooped up in our houses. Like, what else do you want to do? Do you want to sit there like a mook? Do you want to be a mook for the rest of your life, or do you want to laugh? Do you want to be funny, or do you want to just sit there like a sad sack of shit and just sit there and mope around because you're locked inside? Nah, dude. I'd rather laugh. Laughing is good. So the real estate game is really slow. Hence why I'm here. The real estate game is really slow, and a lot of counties have their own rules for showing houses. I know Greg Abbott has basically made real estate agents essential, but it goes on a company by company basis and a county by county basis on how things are being handled. If your broker doesn't want you showing houses at this time because he worries that you will probably get sick, it's probably a good idea you don't show houses. But if you do show houses, it's probably a good idea that you take the proper precautions when you do. Wear your face mask, use hand sanitizer, wear gloves. So just be safe out there. One thing that I can't freaking stand, and I mean legitimately can't freaking stand, and I've been a victim of it too, to myself, because I'm a moron, is whenever you wear gloves and you accidentally touch your face, and then you just want to burn your face off and burn your hands off, and it just ruins the purpose of actually wearing gloves. So if you wear gloves, dude, don't touch your face. Don't touch your face. If you wear gloves, what really is mind-boggling is if you wear gloves and you go out there and you just start touching like your steering wheel, isn't your steering wheel covered in germs too? So like, wouldn't you have to like disinfect everything you touch even if you have gloves on? I don't know, man. Just gloves. Gloves are weird. We all look like Michael Jackson, basically. Michael Jackson 2004. We all look like Michael Jackson in 2004 when he's like hiding. That's what we look like right now. But yeah, I'm just really happy that I recorded this because I was this close to not recording. But I'm glad I did. And hopefully you enjoy this episode as much as I enjoyed this episode. Because, like I said, just kind of relax this episode. Last two episodes I was very sporadic and energized, but it's good. I think we did well, and I hope you enjoyed your time watching this episode. So thank you all for tuning in. This has been episode 3 of Rickham and Weep, and here we go. Signing off. Everybody take care. So see you later, guys.